Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. It is Monday night, November 17th, 9 o'clock, time for the First Alert Weather Show at 9. I'm glad you're here, and I'm watching your comments too on the 14 News Facebook page. So if you have a question, something you want to get off your chest, comment, whatever it is, you want to heckle a little bit, we can do that too. Put it on there and I'll check your input about halfway through. We have some new weather to talk about tonight, or actually a new First Alert weather day. The weather's the same old weather, but this afternoon, after Arden finished with the 2:30 streaming show, we got some new information from the models in the Storm Prediction Center, and parts of the tri-state are in a level 1 or marginal risk for severe weather tomorrow. And within that risk, there is a 2% tornado risk. So we went ahead and threw in an alert day for tomorrow just to bring this to your attention. We think the likelihood of a spin-up tornado is low. It's not zero, but it's very low. We would more than likely have some thunderstorms that produce large hail during the day, and perhaps again during the evening. So that's our timing, and I'll get into all the details here in a minute. Overnight, we're going to have some rain moving in after about 3 a.m. We may hear some rumbles of thunder out there, although the stronger storms should arrive along the warm front, and that will occur tomorrow morning during the commute. And then an additional round of storms is possible tomorrow evening after the commute, around 6, 7 o'clock. And then we have more rain Thursday and Friday, and in that case, heavy rainfall will be the concern, maybe even some localized flooding. And strong storms may develop as well. Still a little early to say on that. Here's where the storm risk is for tomorrow. And again, it's a level 1, lowest risk, right, on a 1 to 5 scale. And so it covers all the tri-state. And then the thing that got our attention particularly was the 2% tornado outline there for tomorrow. Now 2% is pretty minimal. However, we have a couple things going in favor of that. One is a warm front lifting through, so there's going to be some lift in the atmosphere, warmer air moving in, and the potential for some shear in there as well. So that's what prompted the alert there. Other factors here, flooding, again, low risk there, about 5%, damaging winds 5%, and hail, although widespread for all of our counties, and tornadoes all at their lowest possible risk, but a risk nonetheless. At the moment, the radar is clear. We have some thunderstorms back to the north, and maybe a few showers working into the Evansville metro area here in the next hour or two. We think, though, that the main impact will occur during the morning hours tomorrow. Here's 7 a.m. Storms lined up along the Wabash River, or showers and thunderstorms. Those will then move into the metro area between 6 and 9 a.m., and then they will be exiting the eastern half of the region between 9 a.m. and noon. And then that secondary line coming in here around 6, 7 o'clock. So those are the two times that we're watching for tomorrow. Wednesday, kind of a blow off there. It's going to be cloudy, no rain. And then Thursday, the storm threat seems to shift a bit to the south, and this would be the heavy rain potential coming our way. Now, it's going to get cool tonight. We will actually drop to around 44, maybe even cooler than that, 43, and then make a U-turn once the winds shift around to the south, and the temperature will start climbing. And if you're wondering how we can get thunderstorms when it's 48 degrees here on the ground, the answer is they are elevated thunderstorms, at least this overnight round, where we have cool air at the surface, warmer air riding up over it, and the storms developing up there. So they're not really what we would call a surface-based storm. And typically those do not produce severe weather. Sometimes they can produce hail, but they are not, you know, starting at the surface like a genuine severe thunderstorm would. 29 degrees was our low temp this morning, and we topped out at 59, so a good healthy 30-degree swing in the temperature. Par for the course, of course, for November. We are 8 degrees warmer now than we were yesterday at this time, and our degrees from normal, we were actually 7 degrees cooler than the normal low this morning, and we were about 4 degrees warmer than the high this afternoon. So we're kind of adding on those bonus degrees during the afternoon hours. Hard to believe, a week ago today we had 3/10 of an inch of snow and 37 for the high. 59 is more like it for this time of the year. We've not added any significant rainfall this month. In fact, after you melt down that snow, which was about 3/100 of an inch, I think we had another little shower in there that got us up to 0.04. Our monthly temperature is still trending cooler than normal by about a half a degree. I had fried chicken for dinner. I'm sorry, I'm just burping my way through this thing. It was good fried chicken, but anyway, my apologies. You know how it is, you get up here and anyway, that low pressure over eastern Kansas will push the warm front to our north. The greater concentration of rain should be out ahead of that warm front. So once it lifts through, then we're in the warm sector down here, which is to say we have a southerly wind, moisture from the Gulf coming in that will support some storms during the day. And then as the cold front rolls in, that should trigger another round and also bring the clouds back down for Wednesday. And then looking farther down the line, you see by Thursday, our line of showers and storms now sinking a little farther south. That seems to be the ongoing trend. This is the GFS model, again showing rain along the Ohio River early Friday and continuing through Friday night and the first part of the day on Saturday. I think Sunday will be the nicer of the 2 weekend days. We should clear out and temperatures will be near normal or slightly above. And then next week, another system coming in here from the west Monday night and Tuesday. So we have plenty of weather to keep an eye on here over the coming days, and warm temperatures too, where we will stay right around 65 or so each day for the high. The normal high is 55, and then we pull back somewhat there over the weekend, but still normal or above. 44 will be the low tonight, and 66 should be the high tomorrow with those showers and storms coming in over the next 7 days. Temperatures well above normal, and rain chances in there pretty much every day except Wednesday, Sunday, and Monday. And as we look at the longer range, my goodness, we're already looking into December. This month is blown by, but this is a 10 to 12 day outlook, I suppose. And you see we remain warmer than normal here and a little bit wetter than normal too, same time frame. Our pet pick tonight, this is an avid Byron Douglas cat fan. That's Emma down here. I think I'm standing in front of Emma, and you see Byron up there going on and on about the next 5 days. So Byron was heartened that he has a cat audience out there. I'm hoping at least a cat or two puts up with my guff here on the weather show each night at 9. I've seen your pictures. I know you're out there. All right, let's have a look at your questions. And all right, looks like we've got a few in here. Jeanette Stapleton says hi. Paula Schaefer, seeing the view on screen. Okay. You're seeing the view. Not the view, like the one with those women that sit around and gab. I'm not sure what you mean there. Amelia Murphy, it's raining right now in Mount Vernon by Solitude. Yeah, I saw that on the radar. So we got that first shower coming in there. Kate Silliman is loving the new Doppler radar and set up for the graphics. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. We launched the new graphic package Monday last week. So, you know, it'll take a little bit for it to kind of sink in with everybody. Darlene Zell wants to know what I'm thinking about weather for December. How cold and snowy may it just be? A lot of talk, words going around. Yeah, we're actually going to talk about that here in just a second. So your timing is impeccable. That's our science corner tonight for why it might get really cold in December. Tori Dawn Talbert wants to go away. She's probably talking storms. I know Tori hates storms. Rain in Henderson, Lacey Martin. Okay. I think we got everybody answered there. Let's talk a little bit about our prospects for sharply colder air come December. And right now, the climatologists, you know, people looking at long range forecast here, the National Weather Service, et cetera, are talking about the potential that we would have a basically a rapid warming of the stratosphere, which is the next layer up. I always like to say Our weather department's responsible for the troposphere, the first 7 miles of the atmosphere. That's where the majority of our weather happens. However, we sometimes will get a thunderstorm or something that breaks up into that next layer, the stratosphere, which is 7 miles up to, I think, about 50 or so. And anyway, what does that have to do with the polar vortex? Well, as it turns out, it can be quite a bit. Normally, the coldest air on the planet is kind of consolidated around the poles, North Pole for us, South Pole for the southern hemisphere. And that cold air is typically held in place by the jet stream, which prohibits it from moving down, right? As long as the jet is tucked around the pole here, around the Arctic Circle, all the cold air stays in. Now, if there's a weakening at some point in the jet stream, or for example, if we have a rapid warm-up of the atmosphere above the typical level here in the stratosphere, it can cause the jet stream then to weaken a bit or to droop down. And oftentimes our cold outbreaks here in the United States are caused when we get a deep trough, and a trough, by the way, is anytime you see on a weather map where the lines, whether it's equal pressure or heights or whatever it happens to be, start to droop down like that, that's where you let in that colder air. And so when that happens, then the Arctic air plunges down, and sometimes it's kind of a self-perpetuating process where the cold air gets a little momentum, it keeps pushing the jet down, and the next thing you know, we have one of these Arctic outbreaks over North America. And when those occur, then we typically will have abnormally cold conditions. Now, if the stratosphere does rapidly warm up, and there's a chance that it will, this is what's been being observed by NOAA and the longer range forecasters, then we could see an event where the jet stream droops down over North America and does indeed bring in sharply colder air. And with that cold air, if we get some storms rolling through the pattern, we could see some snow. Will it happen? Well, of course, we don't know for sure. But there is the potential, at least a higher probability, that we would see this warming event aloft that would sort of trigger the chain reaction. So it's definitely worth watching. Of course, we're sitting here mid-November, and this is being projected like toward that first week or two in December. So a little way out, and much can change. But this has been showing up in some of the longer range climatological models, okay? Shelby Trimble, Mount Carmel will be all right overnight. Yes. A little thunder, you know, is possible, and some rain like we're getting now. But the tornado threat, and I really want to emphasize, it's low end, right? But, you know, if we get thunderstorms and if there's enough shear, we could have that spin and, you know, get a brief tornado or two. And really, when we have thunderstorms, you can never rule out tornadoes completely. Anytime you've got that kind of action in the atmosphere, there's always a chance, but usually it's a very, very small chance. But we like to put it out there. We know you want to know these things, whether they pan out or not. So that is something we will continue to watch, and you should too. I appreciate you watching the First Alert Weather Show here at 9 o'clock. Be sure to watch 14 News at 10. And I'll do a little shameless self-promotion here. I'm part of a new project now called Out and About. And it's an idea I had where I go out and talk to people, different interesting people out there. Might be you at some point. And we put stories together, and these are on 14news.com. If you go in the community tab, you'll see Out and About in there, or you can search it. And you can check it out. Like today, for example, and I should have played that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. I ran a thing at the National Weather Service Weather Observation Site out at the airport with Jeff Maurice, who's the technician who maintains all that equipment, and showed, you know, where they measure the temperature and how they do it, which is very surprising. It's not what you think. So anyway, those are the kinds of things I've been doing in addition to other folks doing different jobs around the tri-state. So I hope you'll watch that. That's why I haven't been on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday nights. I'm basically shifted my night hours to the daytime to do these projects or stories. and also have a little bit more time at home with my wife in the evening. After 38 years, you know, it's time to have a little more time at home. Not going anywhere, so don't panic. I'll still be on the weather at 4, 5, and 6, and 10 on Monday and Tuesday nights. But I wanted you to know that's what I'm up to. And if you bear with me, I'm putting the glasses on. You know this gets dangerous. I think I can put it in here. Let me see. And we'll just watch the piece that I had. There we are. Oh, look at this. I'm going to be able to show it. Hopefully, I'll have the audio on with it. This just sort of came up as an idea, which is why you watch, right, for the adventure here on the First Alert Weather Show at 9. There it is right there. Okay. Well, we're going to try this and just see what happens. Okay. And I want to make sure we have audio on this. Okay, so we're going to go. And there it is. All right. And now I'm going to play it out. Who maintains weather instruments, radars, and so forth to keep you safe and to get good weather information. How you doing, Jeff?
Pretty good this morning.
Where are we today?
We're out at the airport.
And what is this thing behind us?
It's the Automated Surface Observation System.
Okay, and this, for those who don't know, this is the official temperature, right? So when it says 100 degrees, this is where it's 100 degrees.
Yes.
So why is it here?
To provide observations to the airport.
Okay, and for a lot of people, you know, they look at a backyard thermometer and they think, well, how hard could it be to measure the temperature or the wind or everything? It's actually pretty complex, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, now I'm really curious because I was expecting one thing and we got out of here and none of the instruments look like what I thought they would look like. So we're going to take a little tour here of the ASOS and you're going to guide it. Does that sound like a good deal?
Sounds like a deal.
All right, Jeff, what are we under right now?
This is the visibility sensor.
And how does that work?
It works by shooting a beam of light out, and then the receive assembly actually sees the reflection of it. On clear days like today, it says 10 statute miles. On foggy days, it may be down into hundreds of feet.
All right, we are at the ice detector, not really being used much today, but how does this work when we do have ice?
Basically, this little tip is heated and vibrates, and it will tell you if there's ice accumulation on it or not.
All right, we're up to our next instrument. What do we have here?
This is the cloud height indicator.
Okay, and how does that work?
Basically, it shoots a beam up, and then the reflective light that comes back tells the ceilometer how high the ceiling is. This one goes up to 12,000 feet. A new one that's coming out that's supposed to go to 50,000 feet.
Man, that must be some light that's coming out of there then.
Yes, it's very intense.
All right, we're at our next instrument right now. This one, hard to really figure out what this thing does. What is it?
This is the present weather sensor.
And what does that mean exactly?
Well, it takes all the measurements from the ASOS, and by the particulate that falls through the transmit and receive assembly up there, it gives you either it's fog, rain, snow, volcanic ash, dust.
We get a lot of volcanic ash around here.
No, we don't, thank goodness.
Yeah. You know, we've talked about so many instruments here. Is there one that just measures the temperature, just the plain old temperature?
That's what this is. This is the temperature and dew point sensor. This is actually a new modernized one that was just installed several months ago. And this is the temperature portion of it, and this is the dew point.
I've always wondered this. So how does it know, like 70 degrees? Like, do you bring something out here that's 70 degrees, or how do you know what is 70? Let's say
this here is what we actually verify our temperature and dew point with.
So does the government have a lab where they do all this, or like
yes.
Bureau of Standards? I mean, who's setting the temperature?
Yes, we actually send this back to the be calibrated at a calibration lab. So
this is quite a setup you have here. What does this do?
This is actually the precipitation gauge.
Why is it surrounded by all of this metal?
Well, that's actually to knock the wind down so that the precip will settle onto the actual lip of this assembly.
And that's where it winds up. And so once the rain or snow or sleet or whatever falls into that vessel, then how is it counted?
It's counted by weight. Yes, it actually weighs the water. There's a precision scale inside of it that we have to calibrate quarterly, just like everything else.
Now I'm surprised. I was expecting a little whirligig up here, you know, the 3 cups spinning around for the anemometer, not done that way anymore to measure the wind.
Not necessarily. Now we use an ultrasonic wind sensor on the ASOSs.
And so how does that work then? You've just got 3 sensors up there that do what?
3 prongs that actually send out an ultrasonic signal, and they can detect which way the wind is blowing by their shift in their frequencies.
All of the data is used by aviation and by the National Weather
Yes.
Service. So kind of a crossover here between the 2 agencies.
Yes, they are.
All right, Jeff, that was pretty cool. We'll have to come back and check out more of the weather instruments out here. I guess you'll be around.
Yes.
Straight and to the point, I'm Jeff Lyons with Jeff Maurice for Out and About. All right, so that's what that's all about. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching that one. There are many more of them on there if you want to see how they set the clock at the old courthouse, or you want to go to the barber shop with me, you could do that too. Those are all in the community section on 14news.com under Out and About. Anyway, happy viewing. I will see you on 14 News at 10. Thanks for joining. I'm Jeff Lyons, Out and About today with our old friend Jeff Maurice, a technician.